My name is Dominic. I'm the CEO or founder.
My name is Joanne Kavisia. I'm the co-founder of Taimba. One of the challenges I had as a young mother is getting fresh produce to my home.
I think a beauty business is tough.
You know, when human beings have problems, that's when they turn to God. Yeah. Yes.
What we do for Taimba is actually to create a market linkage between smaller farmers and informal traders. What that means, we shorten the food supply chain, and by doing that, we're able to address the challenges of food waste. And at the end of the day, we make sure by the time you're getting the product, the quality is good, and also we are saving you around 20% of the price or the cost.
Okay. And why agribusiness?
Used to work in America, right? So when we came back, one of the challenges I had as a young mother is getting fresh produce to my home, right? So you go to the market, pick produce and then take it home. Then after a while, we discovered, you can call Mama Mboga, the market, to pack for you. It's taken by a boda guy. And we started thinking, how can we make it more efficient? Like, how can I get this produce to my home without me having to go to the market?
Myself, I grew up in the village and I spent a lot of time with the farm, you know, with my grandparents and my mom, right? And what would happen at the end of the season, right? Because remember, farmers in Kenya rely on the rains. All of them would have at the same time. And then before you know it, the local brokers in the village will either run out of capital or storage. And then, you know, farmers are stuck with this very good quality of food, but because they can't sell it, within 3 months, 60% of it goes to waste. So it's all about how do you fix the challenge with the smaller farmer to access fair price, sustainable market, but on the other side, you ensure you have consumers accessing quality food at, almost 20% lower price here.
The Kenyan market, especially smallholder farmers and even mimi mwananchi wa kawaida, we have this problem with accepting tech or just the reception of technology. And especially in areas like agriculture where I can walk to Marikiti, to Githurai or Gikomba and pick my produce. I would like to know what was the process of you just changing that mindset.
So contrary to belief, Mama Mboga are very tech savvy, very. And a lot of them have apps. Actually, even when we open a new road, they'll be like, where is your app? We are seeing a lot of young or people who are educated setting up grocery shops in around their areas. And then this kind of people don't really like going to Marigiti. So they're very happy. If you bring for them the produce that, you know, like what Dominic was saying, the grading, there's a certain number of tomatoes that have to make a kilo for them to make money. That is why the grading is very important. So if you bring that and you show them how they'll make money, they're very happy to use you, and they'll be waiting for you and calling you and saying, where are you? I need my produce now.
Okay. Just listening to that, I will actually imagine it was a very swift, soft transition for you guys, working in the US and then coming in Kenya, setting up a business, getting customers. Like, it feels like it was so easy. Is that how it was?
No, I think it was a total nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you're out there, you know, basically you sort of remove from the reality, right? And you come in, you imagine you're gonna create an app and people gonna fall in love with it, right? And the reality tells you no way, right? And you have to go through that transition. And I remember when you started off Taimba, right? We are very excited and we felt like, we understand the problem. We take the product to the customer, they love it. And it's been a lot of learnings, a lot of failures, a lot of mistakes, right? But the bigger challenge when you look at agri-tech business, these are totally new business model. So you struggle a lot getting the right employees, right? A lot about changing the culture of the customers from either going to traditional open market, the Marigiti, to trusting they can place an order, and then with the 24th you show with a good quality and all that. So it's a lot of iteration.
So talent is the hardest to get. Now what we've learned is how to coach. So when you get employees, you don't look at them as you just come into work. You also look at the potential. What is your potential? Where can you go? Like every time now I look at my employees, I always say, okay, when Taimba grows big, where can this person fit? You know, are they happy in the current roles, or is there another role that fits them better? And then you coach towards that. So a lot of coaching is needed, and you need to be coached in order to coach.
I know as you grow a business and then you reach up a stage, you need to scale.
Yeah.
And then you need to, now your money cannot sustain you.
Yeah.
So you need to get more other investors to come aboard. How has that been for you, and even some of the investors that maybe have trusted you with your business and money?
Yeah. So it's very tough to raise money. I think if you are a indigenous entrepreneur, and that is a fact, and maybe there are some good reasons around it. But also the other part of it, I think, also to understand the problem you are solving, and then to think about what kind of investor aligns to their mission, right? And then second, I think being very transparent with investors, because I believe the first investor is very important. The first investor gives you money. And I think we've under some very good investors, but also we're very intentional on the investors we're looking for. So I think from investors we have currently, I think it's all about getting warm introductions, but then also we understand the business in terms of where we are, the challenges, and where we need to be the next 2, 3, 4 years. And I think also the storytelling of the business, right? And because I think that's when investors need to have that confidence. They give you money, under that, help in your mission. Because at the end of the day, they have to believe in your story, in your mission, as they're coming to support in that mission, right? Yeah.
Talk to us about where does Christianity come into business? How do they work together?
So in this journey of entrepreneurship, you know, when you go through a lot of problems, well, like for example, you're running out of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when human beings have problems, that's when they turn to God.
Yeah.
Yes. So during those times is when I've seen what God has come into. I mean, when you pray, when you see God provide, you know, and you find Him providing, because we are here. Somehow we are here.
Yeah.
So God did the provision. And you come to understand your Christianity in a different way, right? Like for me, this is a season where I'm growing spiritually as well. Yeah, not from a financial. So if you talk about success, what does God say about success? God's perception of success is not money, right? It's the impact you leave behind, the purpose He created for you, right? What is that purpose? And those are questions that you start asking yourself even as you run the business, because you run out of money. Then when you run out of money, what are you left with? It's your faith.
As a woman in entrepreneurship, in agribusiness, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How has it been navigating, and even what have you learned along the way? Because I don't think we have so many female entrepreneurs in this space. Just female entrepreneurs to start with, and then female entrepreneurs in agribusiness. I don't think you have so many. So you might be somewhere at the top.
Yes.
What are the lessons you're learning along the way?
I think entrepreneurship changes the whole perception of what we thought about work, right? Now, for women in the workplace, it's complicated, right?
Yeah.
For women in entrepreneurship, and I think where you don't have a co-founder, I think is really, really tough. I think it's really tough because what we've had to deal with in Taimba, and I'm a co-founder, is a lot of learning, a lot of things that keep changing all of a sudden. And if I were a woman, I would imagine, right? When I go home and I'm trying to explain to my husband what I've gone through at work, or as an entrepreneur, trying to manage people, trying to manage suppliers, and sometimes this economy, the workforce is difficult to manage. I put it that way.
Yeah.
So imagine carrying all that home, and then you have children waiting for you, husband waiting for you. I think it's a lot. It's a lot for women entrepreneurs, and I think a lot of what we need is a lot of coaching as women, and from women who've done it before. A lot of coaching is required. When we went through accelerator programs, right? We're able to there's some benefits you get, like for example, you get coaches, right? then you're able to sound off. Like there are times when I'll ask the coach questions. How do you manage as a woman? You used to work in ABCD. How did you manage firing people? You know, because you know, as a woman, I can be very soft on. You know, I like inclusivity, doing everyone together. You know, but now I need that coaching to be told, okay, fine, this person is not doing what you're saying. How do you manage that?
How has it been for you being a father, being the CEO, being a good friend? How is that going for you?
So it was so when I meant decision to join Taimba, right? I met this coach, and she said, "Oh, Dominic, you need to, come up with a plan the next 6 months." And actually, remember, she said, "Think when your daughter is exactly 13 years, she's a teenager, she needs more of your time, right? And think about how you split your time, the business, your children, your wife, and all that." And I did not understand I was doing that. But when I look, I'm actually connecting the dots, right? Because when you look at my life, typically my kids want to go for tennis, I need to drop them over the weekends. I do that, the business is actually more demanding. Because you think when you raise money, there's no problem, but you actually realize you solve one problem, there's another problem to grow. It's a lot of being super intentional with your time, right? And it's a lot of planning, and it's a lot of communication, right? You need to communicate with your family, with your kids, with your wife. You need to talk about the business. And that means the team you are getting, you need to think about not the team for today, it's actually for the next 2 years. Because you need team that can actually come in and they run the business. So that also need to focus on your external partners that you're accountable for, right? So it's a lot of balancing and a lot of planning, right? And also you need to let your family know what you do.
For me and Dominic, we found the balance, right? So I think we've discovered a lot of things along the way. We've discovered how health is very important. So what you'll find is our family is very active. Like we do a lot of sporting, and that gives us opportunity to also connect to the children, right? So even if I don't have time with you in the evening, I know I need to take you for tennis. So we'll spend time playing tennis with you, you know. So grabbing those opportunities is what is important. And really there's no work-life balance like what Dominic said. So one season, you need to forgive yourself to say one season, you may not be there 100% for your family, but you make up for that in the next season, right? So there'll always be something that will be competing, something that will be on top, something that will be on the bottom. You can't always be at the same level.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've learned. There's a lot of opportunity for growth within the entrepreneurship space. When you join an entrepreneur company, you have an ability to hone so many skills and try so many things. It gives you that space, but what you need to understand is what accountability and responsibility do you pick as a person who's coming into an into a startup, right? How do you take advantage of that?
I think a beauty business is tough. So when people say work smart, I think it's gonna need a lot of a lot of time, a lot of a lot of hours. You also need to imagine you're gonna make very stupid mistakes. You look back and you're like, "Was that me?" Right? Understand even the problem you are solving today for customers. Actually, go there, they teach you, right? So I think the most important is the growth mindset, but also you need the resilience. Because when you wake up in the morning and you need to pay payroll and don't have money, what you do? And I think that's why people get stress and depression and all that. So I think it's understanding is going to be long journey. It's not rosy as we read and all that, right? But I think part of it is also satisfaction that in terms when you look at the impact you have when you meet the farmers and the customers and also your staff, right? But I think also it's important to have a clarity on why you're doing what you're doing.